Oh.
I don't think you're in the frame right there.
I think we're in frame.
Am I in frame?
Can you see me on the camera there? What is up, my shred heads? Welcome back to the channel. Are we live yet?
We are. Let's just take
Oh, there we go. And welcome back to another live. This is actually going to be our first live workshop. We're in Matt the Mechanic's shed with Paultema. Paultema is going to be explaining everything that he's going to be doing. He had some kind of problem with his hub motor here on his it's a Rad Mini, right? Rad Mini. So he's just going to swap out the motors. But Paul, if you want to just grab the mic, you could even clip it to the chest and just tell everybody what's going on. I'll read the comments, see if anybody's...
Sounds good. We were out riding yesterday as a group, and I started getting some errors where the controller would cut off. It's a phase runner, and I was getting Hall transition errors. And what we suspect with all the abuse the motor has been going through, that we also had a fall. I also had a fall yesterday, and we suspect something came loose and started grinding, and the metal filings from that may have clung to the Hall sensors, and that would interfere with the signal. So we're going to open it up, and we have a complete new motor which just arrived as I was about to leave for here, and we're going to take it from there.
I've actually never held like just the hub in my hand before. This is the first time. This thing's it's kind of heavy.
It's 9 pounds, but it's actually lighter than the Fang SHC2.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And is this like unlocked or is it?
There's no speed restrictions.
Oh, there's no. Okay, that's awesome.
The speed is determined by the RPM volt rating or the KV rating of the motor and the voltage it's fed.
Awesome.
So,
dude, I love this. This is like we're learning e-bike science from Paultema.
now
this is great.
We're going to start from scratch here. There's one torque arm here, and there's also torque washers on the inside that will just slip out when we take the nuts off. The battery has been removed in advance. And there's also a cable tie here, but I used removable cable ties.
It's a nice touch.
That you're supposed to be able to pop off. There we go. This is reusable, so I have to keep on cutting it and replacing it. This motor uses the L10 connector, which is a higher current capability than the typical Joulet connector that Rad uses, and so we're all disconnected there.
God, no, I'm just
Was
kidding.
it like an XLR almost?
Yeah, kind of.
It's like a microphone.
But it has like little.
Yeah, a little different.
Yeah, the small pins on here are for the Hall sensors, speed sensor, and if you have it, a temperature sensor.
Jeez, I never knew all that. This is great.
The Suron has the same thing.
E-bike science right here, guys. Let's see if I can. Are there any questions?
No, just some hellos, highs.
Scarecrow, what's going on? Point MSI high, Death Rock. I'll hop in front of the camera here in a second. Actually, it looks like the camera's a little bit foggy. There we go. That looks better.
Do you have a piece of paper towel or a napkin?
Yeah, right up there.
This rag? Or
Paper towel, rag.
oh, that's here's some
This
sandpaper.
Yeah, I don't think I want sandpaper there. But I'm going to use this to grab the chain and pull it up. And
If you need any of our helps,
that moves the derailleur out of the way. However, like most hub motors, the axle sometimes becomes a little bit wedged. And so we're going to use an adjustable wrench to free that up, just using gentle pressure here.
oh, to pop it up with that.
You want me to film and you get
Yeah, you can if you want, and hop into and help us. And
you want,
if you need our hands,
I don't know if you want to keep that in there.
And
That's
that
cool.
napkin went
that
here.
works.
And we're just going to pull it straight up and out.
Nice.
Man,
And that's it.
Hercules.
Ah, that's hot. No, I'm just kidding.
Now we're going to grab this bucket over here
All right.
and switch sides with you.
All right.
So why are you putting it on a bucket?
Well, what this does is it keeps this from digging into the floor. And if you have it flat, it just kind of rolls around. This gives you a stable work surface.
That makes it easy to do tire changes like that too, huh?
Yep.
Shreddie needs a bucket.
I gotta slide this over here.
I need a bucket, man.
You want Lowe's, Home Depot?
I like Home Depot better than Lowe's.
Or I'll give you the generic bucket.
Can we get a Lowe's sponsor or a Home Depot sponsorship? Bow, down, down, down.
Now, what you might have noticed is that this motor is a little bit different from the stock rad motor. This is a Bafang G62 motor, which is rated for 1,000 watts continuous and 2,000 watts peak. But I do know people that run it at close to 3,000 watts peak.
Oh, wow.
Because it's on the other side, we have to take the brake rotor off first, which I kind of prefer because on the stock one, you have to remove the freewheel, and those can be a pain in the rear.
Are you going to do more Loctite on these or just use the same?
I can use the same one.
Okay.
And got one more.
It's a nice little tool.
Yeah, I like that thing.
It doesn't have a lot of torque, but it does come in handy. So we're just going to take this rotor off like that, and the cable through.
Very cool.
After this, we have the this motor uses Allen screws instead of the Torx bits.
Does this have Loctite or red Loctite in it?
These screws, they have blue Loctite, I believe.
Okay.
And we're just going to break these loose.
So just give it a nice amount of torque in the first.
Yeah, some of them can be really tight,
Yeah.
and the stock rad ones are super tight. Usually, I've broken the tips of tools off
Oh, wow, really?
doing that.
Let me get in these comments. Dee was going to be here, but there's a lot of traffic, so she didn't feel like driving, and she's hungry, so I think she's making hummus right now. What's going on, Brian McKinn? How you doing, brother? Paultema's over here getting his e-bike science on.
Give it a smaller bit. There we go.
That's like a star bit.
Yes.
This is cool.
Got 2 more to go. Now, one thing that usually complicates this process is getting this out of here, because even though there's no screws, you can't get under here. It's not good to pry on it, and you can't pull.
Oh,
So
okay.
here's a trick.
Oh, nice.
I love tricks.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll turn this nut so it's protecting the threads here. And if you want to move this aside for a moment,
Okay.
you just line it up and you give it a thump.
Whoa. Nice.
Listen, if only car hot bearings were that easy.
Right.
So
Emilio, what's going on, brother?
I'm going to take these washers out.
So what did you call that? You just give it a little thump?
Yep.
Give it a thump.
Give it a little thump.
I think that's a little title right
That's
there.
the e-bike
And then
science term.
We can pull this out here.
Whoa.
So,
Oh, wow.
if you've never seen the inside of these, there's a geared hub motor. This is actually the part that spins.
Whoa.
And there's a pinion gear, a small gear in the middle here, and then that turns these gears, and then these gears turn against this ring gear that's inside the hub. That way the motor spins 5 times for every 1 revolution of your wheel, and that's how it gets the torque multiplication.
Can we hack anything in here while we're here? Because, you know,
E-bike science.
e-bike science, right?
Is that grease like?
Yes,
yellow
there
stuff?
is white lithium grease, and
Oh,
even
okay.
though nylon gears don't require it, I use it anyways because it keeps things quieter.
Can
Oh,
we
nice.
liquid cool it?
No, because it's a geared hub motor, there's an air gap between this part and the stators. So the liquid cooling, it's not as effective on here.
Oh, okay.
So is it stator or stator?
That's what I was getting
Stator.
ready to say next.
Stator?
I
Yep.
say stator.
I mean, it could be stator.
It could be. I don't know.
Potato, potato.
Can we just say
I
stadiator?
mean, this is very professional. A lot of terms that I don't know, so maybe I was wrong my whole life.
No, you weren't. You weren't.
So we're pretty much just swapping the internals.
Now I've got to.
He had this motor with him in his backpack too.
Yeah,
He's like, "Oh, my motor fried. Let me just change this real quick."
that's so awesome.
Well, I ordered it just in case because on that ride with the gas bikes in Connecticut, we were doing like close to 45 miles an hour, And this motor's not designed for that.
Our bikes don't go 45,
Oh,
right?
no, probably like 20, 25.
Yeah.
Class 2. Class 2.
Well, if it's class 2, it's
It's
19.2.
It's
No.
not gonna
I
be
got a
class
sticker.
2 unless you have the sticker. Oh, okay, yeah. yours
Yeah,
is definitely
I got a
class 2.
sticker.
You have the sticker.
Oh, I should know the Huck has a sticker, not the Suron. I need a sticker for the Suron. We need some class 2 stickers. Like, no, dude, I got pedals.
Didn't you have a gimbal?
Oh, comments. Sorry. I do have a gimbal, but that's so much easier to use.
Yeah, I mean, this is fine.
Brian McCann said, "Do you carry little Shreddie yet?" No.
Uh-oh.
Not happening. Russell, what's going on, brother?
3 down, 3 to go.
I got here in the beginning. The fuck? Nothing makes sense anymore. How does a hollow hub motor compare? Thingamajig. I'm thinking of throwing a Sturmy anchor dyno drum brakes on the front of the tadpole. What do you think about that, Paultema?
I want to see that.
So right now you're basically doing another motor.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
taking this motor apart so
So-
I can take the core out.
Can you clean this one, or is it just messed up?
I can, but the problem is removing this, the magnet structure from the motor. You have 20 magnets pulling against you as you try and pull it off, and it usually catches on the cuts, the grooves for the clips. And when you do that, I actually have a tool that I made for pulling it off. You need a gear puller for it.
Hi.
So we just got one more screw to go on this.
What's up, Loon? How you doing, brother? Still trying to land on the power plant for the fat tad.
Let me get rid of that.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I don't think it messes with the video though, so that's good. Shreddie make a hybrid bike. Gas motor powers the e-motor.
Now I'm going to do the same thing here. And this is a new motor, so it might be a little bit tougher to pop out. But it's the same principle of thumping it on the ground with a nut to protect it. And when you hold it, you can't hold it by this part because this part's going to separate, so you have to hold it from the sides.
This is so awesome to see. We're
There's that.
literally teaching people how to fix
Now,
their own motor.
Here you get a good view of the reduction gears, and here's the pinion gear that turns everything. These motors, when you put them together, there of course is a keyway there, and when they do come apart, you have to line the gears back up to get to drop into position.
What?
And this one is being a little bit difficult, so I have to pull it off and line it up.
Okay.
Yeah, the key got out of position there. There we go.
Wow.
I think he does
That's it?
better than our lives.
Yeah. That's awesome. Usually, yeah, it's always struggling with Shreddie. If I'm doing something, I'm gonna be sweating and I'm gonna be struggling.
Now these,
We're 50% done.
this is actually a clutch here, so that when you let go of the throttle, the motor will coast and allow it to slip. And some of them are very tight and require prying to get off. This one's loose and it falls off. It's not a problem inside because it's going to be retained by the housing.
Okay.
But just so it doesn't come loose by tipping it down, I'm going to tip the wheel instead.
Oh.
And feed the axle in there.
Does this application go for all bikes with Bafang motor, Paultema?
Most of them are a similar process.
Okay. And he taught you all the tricks that you need to learn.
No.
And we need the bucket back.
Motors aren't like that, right? They're not-
Totally different,
Put the
right?
bucket.
I think
Oh,
it's
bucket.
the same concept.
And we're putting it back on the bucket so that the axle is not pushing this back in. There is a rubber seal. It's a very tiny one, so you have to be careful that doesn't get dislodged while you're inserting it.
Sup, Lorenzo B.
Where's the seal at?
The seal is right here.
Oh, it's really
That
small.
thin black line there.
Wow.
It's not much bigger than a big hair.
Wow. That's crazy. So you got to be really careful with that.
Yeah, but if you damage that, it throws your water resistance out the window.
Oh.
So you kind of need it.
And it's really hard to tell if you
No more
damage
going
it.
through those lakes, guys.
Now, if the seal is intact, I've had good results with these as far as, washing them off or even using a pressure washer. They're sealed pretty good. And I'm going to use this guy to get these
Russell,
in.
keep that ADHD down. We love you, brother.
Now, I noticed you're not going in a star pattern.
That's because the torque on these is so low. It's not like a car where the nuts are actually play a role in centering the wheel.
Oh, that's good to know.
It's just
And
a seal. Because
it's bottomed down.
Your magnets and everything,
Pulling it.
shaft and all that, the
Yeah.
keyway is locking it in.
And this doesn't have enough torque to put anything down as far as clamping it. So I'm just getting that to put the screws in further.
So you don't torque it to like 2 Newton meters?
How many
No,
newton meters?
usually about 10 is enough for these.
10 Newton meters. That's like a head of a 2-stroke, like a Melosi.
Are the bearings sealed too, or will they fail immediately if you crack the casing?
No, the bearings are sealed too. There's a rubber seal on those.
Oh, okay.
So he's got like
Now-
one Ugga Dugga.
One Ugga, 2 Uggas.
Actually, yeah, Ugga, not Ugga Dugga.
Ugga.
He has one Ugga on there.
Hey guys, remember if you guys are finding this helpful, make sure you guys click all those links down below. There's a lot of discount links for a bunch of different types of e-bikes. You'll definitely find a bike you like. Not might, you'll definitely.
And I believe this is the last one here, or next to the last.
Shreddie needs airbags for his crashes. I think we need some for Paultema too for his crash yesterday.
Yes.
I'm due next though. We'll keep it on the grass.
When
so.
do we get to see it?
I don't know. Hopefully, maybe next week, I'm thinking. I got like 3 hours of video to edit. Oh, and guys, don't forget, we're going to go live tomorrow around 7 p.m. We're going to be unveiling a new bike from Electric Bike Company. It's a new custom bike, all custom colored out for Shreddie. Wearable airbags are literally a thing. That'd be so funny.
I've seen this.
They actually
just like,
have those.
What, really?
Yes.
No freaking way.
It's like a hoodie, and then the whole thing like pops open and surrounds your head and your upper body.
That's pretty cool. Is it for like motorcycles and bikes and stuff?
Yeah.
We go to like North Beach in the crowd and it starts boom.
Like blows everybody away from you.
They immobilize your neck, yeah.
Then you can go swimming. Float around with it.
Now, if you notice, I'm avoiding touching the perimeter of the brake rotor with my hands because I got a little bit of lithium grease on my hands. And
That's
grease
bad.
brake rotors don't work well.
You know,
I do have some cleaner.
you want to know something funny? I was on the Super 73 forums for on Reddit yesterday. Somebody was like saying like their brakes were making squeaking noise, and so somebody was like, "Yeah, you got to bet them with a little bit of cooking oil.
No.
Put some cooking oil on
No.
it, and go down a
No.
hill really fast and try to grab."
Yeah, they sell that in oil with a muffler bearing.
How funny would that be?
So this stuff, you don't want me to just...
Just lather it all around it. It's good for it.
Yeah. No, back cameraman.
Oh
Bad
yeah, let me.
man. Put it on your tongue first.
You want me to just...
Put it on your tongue first.
No. That does look like candy though.
What do I do with it?
Oh, there.
You put it back in there.
Ew, it's like greasy everywhere. Grossy. You got a brag up there somewhere.
Is that disc brake grease?
That is packing grease. Oh, this, yeah. This
Michael Ross, what's going on, brother? Shreddie Skate evening from. Can you read this?
Evening from the after watching Super 73 videos. I'm due to pick up the Super 73 RX
Yeah.
on Monday morning in gray and green. Can't wait to get out on it.
Hell yeah! I just wanted Matt the Mechanic to read it.
Probably didn't hear me.
That's the avalanche vest. Pop that thing in the pit and watch them fly. Oh, and the mosh pit is like moshing. There's like poof. That's a great idea. Somebody needs to make that content.
Now the brake rotor
Cam,
is under higher stress, so I am gonna use a pattern specifically for this.
yep. And how tight?
Are we going on a star pattern, a square pattern?
Just cross
octagon?
pattern, opposite sides. So it'd be a star.
Stars.
Just like you, Eddie.
Stars. Your eyes are stars. Oh yeah, yesterday's ride was awesome though. We had a lot of fun. When Bomber Marv went up to the Secret Service and asked him if Sleepy Joe Biden was home. So if you guys want to see that clip, it's actually on my TikTok right now, unless you just want to wait until I edit the whole video. But I was surprised when he asked that. I looked at the Secret Service guy, I was like, it was pretty good. Bubba, what's going on, my brother?
Just double checking.
It's kind of nice when you don't have to work.
All right. Usually Matt the mechanic's doing everything for me. You get this to work. Are we going to do any tuning? Does this need to be tuned now that it has a new motor in it?
Nope.
Really?
Yep, it's
Like
the same
the
as
same
the
exact thing.
same as the other one. So
I
no
mean,
no need there.
It might be physically the same, but it might have slightly different characteristics between resistance.
Variations. Yeah, that's a possibility.
'Cause that's why we have to tune all of our servo motors.
That's true. Backs.
Well,
Do you need me to grab anything?
nope. I'm just looking to see which way I need to put these torque washers on. I run a little bit different torque washer setup or torque management setup than the stock ones, because the stock motor has like 85 Newton meters of torque. This motor, the way I have it tuned, has about 120 Newton meters of torque.
Oh, wow.
So,
How many watts?
One thing that I see that they changed is they put RTV sealer on this cable, and it's interfering a little bit
With that little nut.
with this washer here. So we're gonna have to watch that as I put it on.
Okay. So hopefully it doesn't like pinch that cable too much. Gets out of the rain.
Get another piece of paper towel for the chain. Move that out of the way.
Dude, your shed is awesome. It's awesome. It's like raining out here. Look at this. It's beautiful.
Don't go
All right, let's get him.
right.
Let's get him. Now you're doing what I did on the Bandit, but I did it the wrong way. Paultema, you remember watching me struggle this?
Yes.
You're like, you're doing it wrong.
What's a reverse whack? Or
A thwump.
a thump?
What was the other one? A thump was a thump.
A thump is a positive one. A thwump is a backwards one.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Thwump.
Thump it.
But
Thwump.
as you can see here, the torque washer is in place with a tab towards the open side of the slot. And it's fully seated in the dropouts on both sides, and no movement at all. So we're going to go ahead and put the rest of the hardware in place.
Some easy.
Grab this tray.
Oh, I'm like back in the comments. Anaconda Hugs is in the comments. What's up, brother? The motors have the call data in their own proms.
I need
Oh shit, now I get a Joe Biden joke from the last video. Did you see that, Anaconda Hugs? Go to my TikTok and check it out.
Now, as far as the different setup, this side on the connector side uses a torque washer on the inside and a torque plate on the outside. And on the opposite side, I'm using a torque washer on the inside and a torque washer on the outside. That way I've got a little bit of reinforcement there.
I hope you have a bell on this bike.
Yes, I do, and it's
Yes.
integrated.
Yes, we're gonna do the notification bell.
How do you integrate a bell?
You design it into the structure of the product.
Hey guys, don't forget, if you're enjoying this fun little install workshop in Matt the Mechanic's shed, don't forget to drop a like. I
I
see
need
there's
this Allen
37
wrench
people
here.
in there. It's Saturday. What are you guys doing hanging out with us on a
you.
Saturday?
I'm going to install the
Where's our dinner from D?
Dinner.
I'm going to install the screw for the torque plate, but not tighten it.
Why's that?
Because if I tighten it, it may restrict the preload that I'm going to put on the axle when I tighten it.
Okay.
So I do need my adjustable wrench.
Dude, I love learning this stuff. Paultema, thank you so much for doing this and for this channel.
No problem.
Guys, drop a like for Paultema.
I'm going to put a flat washer and then the nut on this side. And one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wrench on this side. And actually, I'm going to flip sides just so you can see better what I'm doing. I'm going to put a washer and the nut on this side first. And then that way you can see how I preload the axle. Now, preload is simply moving the axle into position where it would be if it slipped and the mechanical interference would prevent it from turning further. If it's loose and it has any momentum going that way, it'll wedge itself in harder. You saw when I was taking the wheel off where I just put a little bit of pressure and it popped out. Mm-hmm. With the preload, it puts it in a position so if there's no movement, the torque, if there was a potential for a movement, it'd already be in contact with the surfaces that it would come in contact.
Okay.
And the direction for preload is opposite rotation of the wheel. Because that's
This is awesome.
That's the way that the torque is going to be rotating. If the wheels turn this way, the axle is going to try and turn that way.
Okay.
And we want to prevent that. So the preload, I'm just going to put light pressure to move that axle into position. And then I'm going to tighten up the opposite side.
Matt the Mechanic, are we learning?
We're learning.
Are you guys learning? This is e-bike science.
Now that this side is in and holding it in place, I don't need this to do the any preloading because the axle is pretty much locked in position.
Wow, I never knew any of this, Paul. This is awesome. I love learning. I feel brain cells coming back.
I don't get that. They just
Can you
get on
see
the
that?
bus and leave.
How tight do you get this down?
This one's pretty tight.
Do you always check your nuts?
I do, but I've never had one come loose.
Really? You should have seen the Bandit. Or did you see the Bandit?
That
All
one
the
came
nuts.
loose?
And guess who was riding it last? Matt the Mechanic.
Oh,
He could
really?
have died.
I mean, I was
Not
riding,
funny, I'm sorry.
I was riding it pretty hard.
Yeah, you were.
So, now that the main nuts are tightened, we can go ahead and tighten this torque arm screw.
Glad to know that your nuts are tightened.
Thank you.
Mine are a little too tight.
Am I missing comments? I'm sorry, guys.
I won't comment on that.
I had to get my candy cigs. You got
Now I'm going to plug.
I like it how you're holding it like an actual cigarette.
Rob McCann, thank you, brother. Thank you for the super chat. Booyah, let's ride.
Now-
Luckily, I was thinking about riding here, but now it's raining, so I'm glad we didn't ride. Hold on 1 second. Ty Ho said, how to med kit. Smash the med kit against the liquor cabinet until emergency liquor falls out. Discard med kit. But he's the one that gave me that med kit that we use on you. So he said, good to know that you got to use the med kit and good job.
Very useful, very useful. So now I'm going to plug in the L10 connector. There's not any easy to see arrows on this, so you just have to look at the pins, line them up,
Just
and
look
push
at
them
it.
together.
Would you just look at it?
Just look at it. Smoke that weed, Russell. Smoke it, brother.
Just look at it.
It's all ready
Would you
together.
look at that?
Just look at it.
At it.
Is he looking at it?
And cable tie, I think fell off.
Zip ties?
someplace.
Do you need zip ties?
Yeah, just one zip tie.
Do you have zip ties?
Zip ties, four
Actually,
drawers,
I have some in my
four
drawer.
drawers down.
I have some right here.
Do you want to start a band called that?
Zip ties. A band called Zip Ties. Okay.
No,
Band
four
called
drawers down.
4 drawers down.
This is fine.
I have those exact zip ties.
And one thing you have to be careful with this design that you don't have to watch for on the other, on the original location, with the cable coming out near the disc brake, it's very close in proximity to the brake rotor. And if it does contact it, it's slicey dicey time.
So
Yeah.
You want to put it right on the edge.
We're gonna put it right here.
So that's something you should check on your bikes also, because sometimes those do pop off. So check your nuts and check your zips.
You gonna just do one or two?
Just one's fine.
Yeah, 'cause I guess that's tight up there. Yeah. Very good, very good.
How many likes do we have on here, Matt the Mechanic?
18 likes.
18 likes, guys. If you're enjoying this and finding it helpful, definitely don't forget to drop a like, guys.
So
Let's
we're gonna
even
flip
out.
this over now.
You need help?
I got it.
Oh, Paultema's a beast.
And I do need that battery over there. I'm gonna grab it.
We got to come up with something creative with old like motor hubs. Like,
It's a dog bowl.
what can you do with this?
Well,
Like, creatively, do you want to make this like a flower pot or?
you have to plug the hole in the bottom or use the
Be
hole.
like a little sink, little parts washer.
Is that the same bearings a one wheel uses? I think. Looks like pretty close to it.
Yeah, they're pretty standard.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh,
So-
should I move this out of the way? You need. Yeah! Oh my God, dude! These
Okay.
beasts.
It's like a drawing.
All right,
Jeez.
and that's it. We're done for this.
That is awesome, awesome, awesome. So right now, can you tell us like the setup you got going on with the phase runner, the batteries, and then I think we can probably wrap it up after that. 'Cause I know all of us are hungry, and these hungry mostly.
I gotta talk to you. Come here.
Hold on, let me get some cigs. Oh no, the cigs over here. Yeah.
Over here, over here, over here. I don't know about this guy. Does he know what he's doing?
I don't know, man.
I think he does.
I don't know.
Shall I like, pick
He
my
not
nose
only
or
built the
something
whole
for effect?
motor, but
This bike might beat Bomber Mars. I'm not sure.
Nah.
right.
All Bomber Marv has to do is walk past a bike and it automatically becomes faster.
It like
So-
transforms.
This particular setup uses a phase runner controller. It uses the MXT connection. If you do this conversion yourself, I'd recommend you use the WP version, which is waterproof. That way you just have one connection between the...
Not the WAP version to get confused with.
There's one connection between the controller and the cycle analyst, which is basically the computer that controls it. The
Feedy's
phase
here.
runner controller itself doesn't have any inputs for brake cutoffs or pedal assist. That has to go through the cycle analyst. So if you want to use the phase runner just by itself, it does have a throttle input, but you'll just have to throttle. It's being powered by a 52-volt battery. This is just one of my assortments. This one is a 40 amp, 13 amp hour Joyzy battery. I have 4 other ones, including a pair of Tesla batteries that I usually run in
Oh, nice.
parallel. The motor, like I mentioned, is the Fang 1000 watt. The rated peak is 2,000, but I know people that have run it up to 3,000 watts.
Wow.
No trouble.
Do you know your RPM?
The RPM of the motor itself is I think 2,100 RPM, and then since that has a 5 times gear reduction, the wheel motor is about 300, a little bit over 300 RPM.
Oh, could you tell us what happened with your original motor? Or was it something with the phase wires?
Yeah, I mentioned that in the beginning of the
Yeah.
video, but I'll have to open that motor up just to double check it, but
Yeah.
we're getting hall sensor errors, and the controller would shut off power to the motor because the hall sensors tell you what position the magnets are in relationship to the coils.
Where's the hall sensor in here? Can we
The
see
hall
it?
sensors, I'd have to take it apart,
Oh,
but
okay.
it would be like in here.
Is it like a
here.
little piece of?
It's on a circuit board about that long, kind of half quarter moon shaped.
Okay.
And the sensors basically tell the computer or the controller what position the motor is in.
Okay. And then it can come loose or something? Is that what?
I think we can open it up.
Yeah. That's good. Ding, 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 ding.
Well, I prefer to be able to put it back together.
Just
Ah, my foot.
So is that like, did it become loose in there, or is it like did it get heated up in there and something got
We don't know
unsoldered?
if it heated up.
Yeah.
Because we were on a pretty long cruise and we're going through sand, or at least I was partially going through sand.
Till you
Or
shoveled.
if the fall knocked something loose,